Hello, everyone. I'm Charlie, and welcome back to another UCL DraftKings soccer slate breakdown. Apologies for the lack of YouTube videos last week. I was in Orlando on vacation. I just couldn't really get away to record a video or record videos for the Premier League and Wednesday Champions League slate. But I'm back now, and consistent uploading is back. Okay, in terms of the slate itself, another UCL2 gamer. This is the second legs of the Arsenal Porto and Napoli Barcelona ties. In terms of the aggregate, Porto lead Arsenal 1-0 after the first leg, and Napoli and Barcelona are even at 1-1. And remember that there are no away goals this year, so it'll just come down to who wins by more. And if there's no winner, it will be extra time no matter what. Okay. So yeah, Arsenal are lead at -400. Barcelona here are -100 in their matchup. In terms of set pieces for them, it'll be a Gundogan monopoly in this team. Even when Rafinha has been in, he hasn't been taking. He came up with an injury last league game. We'll see if he's available even. For Napoli, it is a Kvaratskhelia Politano split now. We've kind of finally gotten some consistency out of Calzona after the first couple games he's been in charge. In terms of Arsenal Porto, in this team, it'll be a Saka and Declan Rice split. It'll almost be that way no matter what, likely. Like Rice has kind of suddenly got the priority for the right-footed set pieces after Trossard had them for a bit and Martinelli had them a bit. Now it's more or less just Rice there. What's interesting here is that we got Jesus in. He has not started since he's been injured. He's come off the bench the last couple games. And the guy who now is out because of that is Jorginho, which pushes Kai Havertz back from the 9 to the midfield and Rice back from kind of number 8/attacking-ish mid-role to the number 6, which kind of negatively affects both those guys to accommodate Jesus, which is something to think about. For Porto, they're a little strange with their set pieces. Conceição usually takes. We'll sometimes see Wendell hop on something. We'll sometimes see Varela hop on something. I'm not going to be too worried about it here, considering how likely Porto are probably going to bunker. And I'm not sure how many set pieces they actually end up with. In terms of player prices, the guy who is most expensive, as he should be, is Bukayo Saka. He's not been as good in UC. Actually, he's been pretty good in UCL. He's probably been slightly hotter in the league, but he's still been really good in UCL. I will play him no matter what. Like, this is a good matchup for him. Arsenal are going to dominate the game. And because of that, Saka should just get a lot of floor points. I don't think there's a way that they sub him unless he gets injured. So he should be good for 90, potentially 120 if it ends up going extra time. So I'm plugging and coring Saka more likely than not. Then we got Lewandowski. He's finally been priced up. Or not finally, or he just is priced up a lot because of how good he's been. He's usually cheaper on like interleague slates because of the way that prices are factored in. He's been better in the UCL than the league largely. So he's been priced up more because of that in UCL. I don't know if I'm going to get there myself. My brain tells me just to stack Arsenal because they're going to have a much larger run of play than Barcelona is. They're a bigger favorite. More likely than not, they score more goals. And other than Saka, they're all cheaper. Lewandowski is. João Felix, 9,200. That's too much for me. He's a sub risk. He's not got the same goal scoring capability as Lewandowski. So I could see myself maybe getting there in GPP for cash. It's a no-go for me for sure. And I'm not even sure how much I'd like of him in GPP. There's Rafinha questionable. We'll see if he plays. I'm a little afraid of him if he starts, considering he's on an injury and a sub risk, regardless if he's starting or if he's healthy or not. I mean, Jesus A600. This is a big decision for me. I could see Arsenal keeping Havertz at the 9 and maybe not starting Trossard, considering he did play last league game, and maybe playing Jesus out wide. Out wide, Jesus, I'm a lot more interested than in number 9, Jesus. I feel like he gets a little bit more floor ability, which is just crosses and fouls drawn. He just does that a lot more wide than at the striker role. So I'm thinking about that first. And then I'm thinking, how many minutes is Jesus going to go? He has not started yet. He could be the first guys in. They still have like if it's this team, they still have like Nketiah and Reece Nelson on the bench, and Jorginho if they want to go back to what they've been playing, move Havertz back at striker. Either way, there's a lot of candidates that could come on for Jesus, and I just don't really see him going 90 considering he hasn't started. It's like that's my worries. Those are my worries with Jesus. However, saying all that, he is still an Arsenal piece. He's probably I don't want to say most likely goal scorer, but a pretty likely goal scorer, especially if he plays striker. And on a minus 450 favorite, it's just something to think about. I think I'd like him more than Lewandowski, but then it's whether I'd play him over like a Kvaratskhelia or a Yamal or a Kai Havertz, who are all 2K cheaper and all more likely than not going more minutes. So those are my thoughts on Jesus. I'm not gonna like Martinelli. He's not gonna start. Like I'd be shocked. He might make the bench. Either way, it's not worth getting into too much because you're not gonna play Martinelli if he's on the bench unless you're crazy. And if I was to do that, I'd do it in showdown. There's Kvaratskhelia, 7,400. He got subbed early against Barcelona, then he went 90 in the league game. I feel like he's more likely to go line 90 than not here. Splitting set pieces for sure. For 7,400, that's not a horrible play. He gets you a third team and off of Barcelona and Arsenal, which is pretty useful. However, the trade-off to that is that you're using a forward slash midfielder slot on a non-Arsenal non-Arsenal Barcelona piece. So I could see myself getting there. They're away. Barcelona are going to keep possession, so it's going to be Napoli on the counterattack. So there's not really kind of floor there, but he's still got the ability to find a goal on the counter, to do something without the ball. Like he's just a good player. Then Yamal, 7,200. I think that's underpriced. I potentially get there in cash. It's between him and Kvaratskhelia and Havertz. Like I'll play one of these guys as my second forward. I almost guarantee it. Like I don't see myself going Lewandowski there. I could maybe see Jesus, but if I was to go Jesus as a forward slot, I'd probably go one of Kvaratskhelia or Havertz in the mid slot or Yamal utility. Like I'll have one of these three. I'm pretty sure of. So yeah, Yamal's underpriced 7,200. He's kind of 71, yeah, 7,200. He's kind of Barcelona's main attacker right now, which is kind of crazy. They're relying on like a teenager to kind of be their focal point. Like Lewandowski's been misfiring. He doesn't always go 90 anymore. Yamal does, despite his age. Like I really like Yamal here. He's got a high floor, doesn't take set pieces or anything, but he just is eager to cross the ball, eager to shoot, he gets fouled a lot. Like he gets points, which is the name of the game. So I don't think Yamal's a bad play. Now Havertz, I'm going to be pretty position reliant on him. If he's striker, I love him. Like he's my favorite forward besides Saka if he's there. Now, if he's in the midfield role, he gets exponentially worse. Like he's been scoring a ton of goals lately, and that's been playing as the focal point, as the main striker. In this role, he kind of does what Declan Rice is doing there, which is he's got the ability to score. He gets forward, but he's not really the main threat there. So it becomes then a bit of a toss-up for me about whether I go him or not. So that's what I'm thinking about Havertz. Like, I think I lean a Yamal over a midfield Havertz at this moment, but I could definitely see myself changing my mind come closer to lock. Everyone else, 5,800 Oshi, that is super cheap. I like that in GPP. In cash, I don't think it's really worth it. Same with Politano, 5,800. Like that, those are some really low price players. I've never seen either of them go that low. So for GPP, interested in for cash, I don't think I'll get there. I'll go one of these 7K guys. I'll go maybe Jesus. Okay. Porto, I'm not super interested in. Like I even in GPP, I can't see myself going them in more than just a couple of one-off. Like I don't mind Pepe, I don't mind Evan Nielsen, I don't mind Conceição and like a maybe a 5% or something, just in a couple of one-off. Maybe Porto squeak it, maybe they get a late goal. I'd play Diogo Costa probably if I was to go that route. But I don't love them. Even Conceição, he was a lot more in play at home. He still didn't do anything because they just don't they're not just not gonna get set pieces. So I'd play him as a cheap attacker, was all I kind of really am thinking of him as. Okay. Midfielders, there's Trossard. If he starts 8,400, I just don't love that he's kind of a K more than Yamal, a K more than Havertz, a K more than Kvaratskhelia. And he's likely to get some more, he's more likely to get stuff than all those guys too. So I don't love Trossard here. I feel like Jesus has a little bit more upside than him, but he's got a little bit of if it's both of them together, he's wide. He's got maybe a little bit more floor. Like maybe it's a little bit of a toss up. I still prefer Jesus, I think, and I'm afraid of his minutes, so I don't love Trossard. Everyone else, like Vieira, if he's probably not going to play, so I'm going to ignore him for now. But there's Declan Rice, 6K. If he's at the 8 role, he's first man in. Like I'll probably have him in my core regardless of where exactly he plays, just because he's 6K. He's on just an insane tear right now. He's taking set pieces, and he goes the distance no matter what, bar an injury. So I'm probably plugging him no matter what in cash. I could maybe see myself getting off of him a little bit in GVP if he's the 6, just because he's got a little bit less of a license to go forward. But I still love him as a play. It's just whether he's like an ultra lock or just a little lock. And that just depends on whether Jorginho is in or not. My dog is chewing something. Whatever. I'll deal with him later. All right. Fermin Lopez for Barca, 6K. That's not a bad GPP play. I don't mind him. I'm not going to spend too much time on him just because I don't see myself getting there in cash. He's just a Barca attacker. Like he's just a box to box mid, kind of maybe slightly more attacking than that. He's probably going to get subbed is my issue. I like him in GPP, not in cash. Zielinski, I'm not going to worry about. I doubt he plays, considering that he's going to enter, and I don't know if they're going to include him in the squad even. Eustachio, he hasn't been playing, but I'm not interested in him regardless for that much. In terms of everyone else, Andre Franco potentially takes some set pieces. Once again, just not the matchup for me. Then Jorginho, 3,800. That is not bad for an ultra cheap Arsenal piece if he's in. I don't think that's that horrible of a play. Zambo and Gisa got their last game. I think it's a tougher matchup, but potentially for value, I don't think that's horrible. Ivan Jaime, another cheap Porto set taker. But that is not horrible for that cheap. I go Jorginho over. But yeah. The big midfield option is Rice, and then more likely than not for me. Oh, I didn't talk about Odegaard either and Gundogan. I just completely missed him. Okay, first Gundogan. Monopoly set taker. I'm plugging him for sure. He plays pretty attacking under Shabby. Like he almost shadows Lewandowski. He's almost a second striker at times he gets so far forward. Odegaard. Just another way to get to Arsenal. I like that he's cheaper than Trossard. He never gets subbed, like ever, I feel like. I could see myself getting there. I don't think that is a bad midfield option. However, if you're going Gundogan and Declan Rice, he takes a utility spot. That's something to think about. That utility spot is where you go. I think one of those 7K guys. That is Kvaratskhelia, him, Yamal. Like there's a ton of options there, and I put him right amongst them. In terms of defender, Cancelo's kind of the premium pay-up option. I don't know Zinchenko's health status. I worry about a little bit. I think he might be back, so I worry about Kiwior's time, but he's been super good. Same with Ben White. Like all the Arsenal players have just been really interesting. Like they're all set piece threats. Like they all go up for corners. There's White, Kiwior, Gabriel, and Saliba. They're all not bad plays. Like all the Arsenal, I'm not disinterested in a single Arsenal defender. I don't rule any of them out. I think they're all in play for me. Everyone else, like Cancelo's the premium option. And then the rest are kind of meh. Like I'd go an Arsenal defender over any of them more often than not. It just depends whether I need a third team or not. In which case I think about a Mario Rui or a Wendell. Like just one of those fullbacks, a Mazzocchi. I think Di Lorenzo might be a little much. I don't think I'd get there. But then 4,800 is not even that bad. How much is Mazzocchi? 3,100. Yeah, like any of those guys, I think is fine as a third team, but the Arsenal guys are just better. But the problem is they're also on Arsenal, so they take away an extra team from you. Goalkeeper, crapshoot. Like Raya is the quote unquote safe option. But then there's also Ter Stegen, who's more likely to get saves than Raya. Like these guys will like Diogo Costa and Mera are going to get peppered. You can go that way. Cash GK is always a crapshoot. GPP, kind of the same thing. Like just varying space. I say it every time. Like I'm not going to spend too much time on it. In terms of a core, going Saka, I'm going Gundogan, and I'm probably going Rice. I could see myself getting off of either of them in GPP. I'm probably going Saka. I see myself in almost every build. I'll probably have like 95% or something. These guys will probably have closer to like 80, I imagine. Still really like them all. And yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully it's not too long. I think I spent longer than I'd like to rambling. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Excited for UCL and apologies for a couple of missed vids last week, but I'm back and excited for the grind again. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.